It is your Classic Metal Show right here on theclassicmetalshow.com. That, of course, was Warlock featuring the mighty Doro Pesch. That one, I Rule the Ruins from Triumph and Agony. And the lead lady, 30 years, the metal queen of basically everything. It is the one and only Doro Pesch on the line. Doro, how are you, ma'am?
Hey, very good, Chris. Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm still in Europe and heading over to the States and getting all excited for this upcoming tour and playing the Triumph and Agony album. And and everything is going really well. Yeah.
That's great. Now, Doro, it's been 30 years, unbelievably, since Triumph and Agony, and clearly that is the record that, really puts you into a lot of people's eyes. For you, when you look back at it, do you feel as strongly now about that record as you did, when you were recording it and when you released it?
Yes, I totally feel as strong as I felt in 87, actually, and it's a dream to play all these songs. Actually, we have never played all the songs in our set list, and some of them, they're so nice, like melody-wise, words-wise. It was like, it was definitely, I think one of our best records, and I still feel as excited, and it brings back great memories. For example, great people played on the record, the legendary Cozy Powell. He played on Touch of Evil, and every time I hear our drummer doing the intro, then I think of Cozy and my best friend Tommy Bowen, who was the guitar player at the time. We're playing together again, and when he plays all the great solos, it's like, wow, it's a dream. I'm super excited about it, and I think live it sounds even better, even wilder, and
Sure. Now, Doro, you mentioned that you had kind of an all-star lineup really for that record, and it was a departure from the band that had previously been Warlock. For you, what was the reason that you did bring in so many players on that record? Was it that you felt that the material was really strong, but you needed bigger name or bigger talented players to come in and take you to the next level?
Actually, it all came like natural. For example, we had this power song, Touch of Evil, in the making, and then I told my manager at the time, I said, Alex, I need somebody who has so much power, like really, like that I can scream and sing, and he said, oh, wait for tomorrow and I will get you somebody. I didn't even know who it was, and I said, do you want to tell me? He said, no, it's a surprise. The next day I went to the Power Station studio, that was the name at the time, it's now called Avatar, in New York City, where we recorded all the stuff, and then he said, hello, Doro, and it was Cozy Powell, and wow. I was so shocked, I was so surprised, and I thought, oh my God, and then he said, hey, your manager called me, I would love to check out this song you guys have in the making, and I said, oh yeah, and then he played Touch of Evil, and it was so great, but it was a big surprise, I didn't even think of that, so the whole record came out like, so natural. There wasn't a big plan. It was just like having fun, and you could feel there was so much magic there. We didn't know that we would have a hit or a big single hit, or that All We Are or For Immer would then wind up being the singles or videos. We just did it, and it was a dream. It was so high energy, so much passion, great people working on it. The engineer we had, he then went on to work with God, who was it? The guy who did all the Meatloaf records, the engineer
Steinman.
Was Steve Winkhoff, and he was a very young guy at the time. He was just starting out, and it was huge potential there, but you had no idea that that you would work with these great people. It was like, it was flowing, and it was a magical time. Everything fell into place, and then I wanted to have a beautiful album cover, and there was this guy, Jeffrey Gillespie. He was a great painter, and then he painted the Warlock Triumph and Agony album cover, and it came back, and I thought, oh my God, this is so great, and but it was not. We didn't even think about it. It definitely all fell into place. I've never experienced it like that in my life, before or after. It was like, I guess we were at the right time in the right place, and everything happened. Mm-hmm.
Sure. Now, Doro, you brought up All We Are, and I wanted to ask you about that song a little bit. That's clearly I would say that is the anthem that most people know for sure of you.
Yeah.
And when you're recording a song like that, I mean, I've interviewed a zillion people, and they never seem to be able to say that they knew that this song was going to be, that special song for them. Now, I'm curious for you, because that song really, that one and I Rule the Ruins they stand out in my eyes, or my ears, they stand out on that record above everything else. For you, as the person that was, writing the music and recording it, did they stand out for you, and did you know that you were on to something special with either of those two songs?
Actually, with All We Are, I tell you, the first time that I felt it could be something, it was when we put all the metalheads, all our friends, and when, we had even people coming into the studio, we just, asked them, they were walking, down the street. We said, hey, can you guys just come, and sing a little background vocal in the studio? And I said, what? And so there were like about 50 people singing the choir to All We Are. And that was actually the first time that I thought, wow, everybody seemed like so happy, excited. And I saw the look in their faces and in their eyes that it was really so much fun to sing this, this great message to All We Are, we need whatever. It's like this united feeling and, the way of feeling, the friendship, the connection, the unity, and that was actually the first time that I thought, oh wow, this could be something. And then at first we didn't even dare to put the song on the first side. It was vinyl, and I thought, okay, it's then the first song on the second side. And then somebody said, hey, why don't you put it on first side, first song? And we thought, okay, and then and somehow it was unstoppable without us even doing something. And then somebody said, hey, let's do a video. And we had a great video guy,
Sure.
Mark Ressica was his name. He did all the big videos. And he flew to New York, and he came to the office of our manager. And then he said, I have this idea, and putting in the Warlock and filming it in L.A., the river basin where Terminator 2 was filmed. And I thought, oh, my God, that feels like big time. And then we were so lucky, MTV put it on heavy rotation, All We Are video. It was great. Sometimes, we weren't, we didn't even know, why it was happening, but it was happening. It was a lot of magic, and maybe God said, okay, you guys now have a little hit. So, it was a little bit surprising, yes.
Right.
But when people were singing on it in the studio, then I could tell there was some magic there, which was powerful, yeah.
Sure. Now, Doro, not a secret, it was right after this record that you changed the name, I guess, of the band or of the project from Warlock to Doro. And I understand that was for some legal reasons and whatnot. And I don't want to get into that as much as I'm curious for you at that point. Was it almost scary that you had finally found some success and you had the hit and things were rolling, and then all of a sudden you're almost starting over because you had to convince, especially then before there was the internet, they might know Warlock and not know who any of the members were. So for you to come in and be Doro all of a sudden, that almost had to feel like starting over, no?
Yes, you're absolutely right, and it wasn't my choice. But we got into some legal problems. Actually, somebody stole the name. That was the thing, but we couldn't really prove it. It was a mess. And when I started out, I was a little metalhead. I wanted to have fun with the music, and suddenly it was like, it was the music business, and lots of sharks came in, and and I thought that it can't be. So it was for me heartbreaking, for the fans as well. And the only way to continue in music was naming it Doro, because the record company people, they said, hey, we don't want to support another band or a new name. And I said, how about you call it Doro? Maybe some of the old Warlock fans will connect or will know who it is. So I said, okay, then let's do it for one record. And the next record I want to call Warlock again. But it never got to that. It took 20 years to get the rights to the name back.
Right.
So, for 20 years you had to, just try, with what you have, the best way. you could do it. So yeah, but I never wanted to have a solo career. It was it was actually shocking. But I wanted to do music, and I wanted to,
Sure.
of course, rock the fans and stay metal. But it's always going up and down. And I
Right.
guess many bands, many musicians, they probably had to go through that. And it's not always always positive. You hope that it will always go up and up and up, but then certain things change. Yeah, the taste of music changed, and suddenly grunge became huge, and the normal metal bands, they were like they were shoveled to the side a little bit.
Sure.
That was tough. So I'm experienced in the greatest moments and in some really tough moments too. And you just have to hang in there and, always try your best and always try to, survive and never give up. And that's what I try to do. And
Sure.
yeah.
And Doro, one thing that I have to think was a good part of the name change, as your career went forward, was by calling it after your name, it really did kind of free you up to experiment a little bit. Because some of the albums that you had there in the mid 90s ish, they were very different. They didn't sound like Triumph and Agony or Force Majeure. They sounded different. You tried some experimentation, and I think you might not have been able to get away with that if you had a band name versus your name. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. It's I never thought about it, but then when I wanted to, of course, continue music, and then suddenly I thought, man, I love so many different kind of melodies and musical styles. I love sometimes very, very, mellow, dark, romantic ballads, which probably wouldn't be like great on a die-hard metal
Right.
record. So I tried many different things. I think some songs, they are really, really loved by the fans. For example, the song "Love Me in Black" and and on the True at Heart album, I did it in Nashville. There were beautiful ballads on it. "Angels Never Die" and "Machine to Machine" I did in New Jersey with Jack Ponty, and we experimented with some great people, and I think some great, really, really unique sounds and songs came out, like "Ceremony" or "The Wand." So on one hand, it was great to have the freedom to do whatever you feel, and I always followed my heart, so it was never that I thought it has to be always, metal with two, screaming guitars. It can be, whatever. It's a great piece of music, and I still treat it that way, that every song, should be a little masterpiece, and and every record is different, like in a little way, and maybe has a different spirit, a different kind of magic. Certain songs which are like, there's one song I love, it's called "Fortune Teller." It's a talk song, but it's so cool, and sometimes hard to pull it off live, because usually, the ballads, they get shoveled, away. We usually play 2 ballads, maybe 3 ballads, but usually we concentrate on the anthem and metal stuff. But there are certain songs which are just beautiful. Maybe for somebody at home, listen to it, and then, fall asleep just with some really cool vibes. And I concentrate on some film music as well, which I love to do. It's sometimes very atmospheric and deep, but it's different. So whatever, all kinds of music, to me, every piece of music which, touches your heart and soul is great. It doesn't have to be always the same formula at all.
Sure. Now, Doro, moving forward to today, you're going out to promote 30 years of Triumph and Agony with a very limited run tour here in the States. It's 5 shows. What can fans expect from these shows?
We plan on doing more shows. At first, we didn't know if people would be interested, but then I felt people loved that record, and even new fans who maybe weren't alive back then when it came out. So I think there will be more shows in the States, but these 5 shows, we concentrate on the Triumph and Agony album, play the whole album. I have my old guitar player back, Tommy Bowen, who played all the solos, who played on the Triumph and Agony album every single note, and we have now 3 guitar players It will be a lot of power, a lot of guitar solos and a wild show, more like we did it in the 80s. I will hop on Tommy's shoulders and, we will bang our heads and, it will be wild. And then in the encores, people can call out the songs they want to hear from new songs or, old Warlock songs. We definitely play all the highlights like True Steel, Burning the Witches, and,
sure.
Hellbound. And we are the metalheads, from the Fear No Evil album. And but first we will play all the Triumph and Agony songs, and it's a dream to play these songs. Some of them songs we have never played live, and now that was the first time that we rehearsed them, played them live, and they're so beautiful, like Kiss of Death and
sure.
3 Minute Warning, Make Time for Love. These weren't in our set list normally, but now they are, and it's nice. You will see. It's definitely sounds great, and yeah.
Excellent. Now you mentioned that Tommy is going to be back with you. Just because I have no idea, what was Tommy doing, and how did you get him back involved?
We were always staying friends. Always. And he always hopped on stage when we were playing, for example, in L.A. He moved from New York to L.A., and we always played together. And then last year, a journalist, he said, "Hey, Doro, there's the 30-year anniversary of Triumph and Agony. Don't you do a special show?" And I thought, that's right. So I called Tommy. I said, "Hey, you know what? It's 30 years ago that we did this record together. Would you like to play a couple of shows?" He said, I'm in. He was so excited.
Cool.
And I could tell, we had the same chemistry. And then, we started rehearsing and playing live. We did 2 festivals in Europe, Sweden Rock, which is a big festival, very nice, and Norway Rock, very nice too. And it sounded great. And now, we want to do much more shows, and want to write new songs together.
Wow.
Actually, we have one song in the making, and which is cool, which will probably be on the new Doro record. And then maybe eventually recording a Triumph and Agony live album with some more new songs on it. So, we definitely want to keep it going, and it's great to play together again. And but Tommy, he's a killer guy, and he did so much stuff. He had his own band, was called New York City, and he played with one of the Ramones guys, and he did so much stuff, and he's a guitar maniac, I
Sure.
think he has 100,000 guitars, checks out all the guitars, all the effect racks. He's like, he's crazy about guitars and sounds, and you'll see, you can tell. And,
Sure.
and he will definitely play guitar solo on this tour. Usually we always have a drum solo by our drummer Johnny D, but this time Tommy will, make some noise, and we'll rock hard.
Sure. Well, Doro, it sounds like a great time. Currently there are 5 dates announced. They start in a week or two? A week and a half?
Yeah. Our first show is in Worcester in the Palladium on September 8th. Second show is in New York City, BB King's. That's on the September 10th. Then Detroit on the 12th of September, Token Lounge. Chicago, 14th of September, Reggie's. And the last show is in L.A., the Whiskey A Go-Go on the 16th of September. And then we will add on more shows in America. But we had no idea that people would be into it. But, now I felt, there was so much excitement going on. So we will continue the tour, and either end of this year or next year, beginning of next year. And,
Very cool. Well, Doro, where can people go online to find out where you're going to be and where the new dates that are not yet announced are, and all that good stuff?
The website is doro.us and or doromusic.com, and we have Facebook. It's Doro Official, and I guess the dates are everywhere. But doro.us, that's the one we always try to keep updated.
Right.
And Johnny D, our drummer, he's doing all the Facebook stuff, and so just look under Doro, and then everything should pop up.
Excellent. Well, Doro, you as a tradition on the show, we always have the artist pick a closing track. So why don't you pick something from Triumph and Agony, and maybe tell us a quick story about it to wrap this one up.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I would like to To play East Meets West, because that was the first song we wrote for the Triumph and Agony album, and I just came back from an East Europe country. It was Hungary, and I want to do some promotion, and then they took away all our records because they said, oh, it's pornography. It was the Burning the Witches record,
right.
And actually it was like, it was a cool album cover, but all the people, they took it away, so we couldn't do any promotion. And I told my back then producer, Joey Ballon, about it, and I said, man, like East Meets West, there will be a hell of a mess. He said, oh, that's a great song. So we wrote the song, and Tommy Bowen, he played great guitars on it. I giggle on it too, because there's some it was some good vibes in the studio. So my choice is East Meets West from Triumph and Agony, and I wish everybody a great time. Keep on rocking, and all the best, and see you at one of our shows.
All right, well, let's check it out right now. This is Doro and Warlock with East Meets West right here on your Classic Metal Show.